Okay, can I just ask everyone to please settle down in your seats? And if you've got nice cakes in front of you, don't mind if you take a nice bite. Keep your mouth occupied with eating, but not with talking. Thank you. Yeah? So, if you please take your seats. When I've got silence, then I can sit there and I can start inshallah. That's especially to my sisters who have a lot to say, mashallah. Okay, that's enough, thank you, everybody. What I want you to do is just sit there and munch and listen. Thank you, yeah? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. I'm sorry about earlier where I was stuck in traffic and so on. There was an accident on the road getting there. But anyway, I'm here now and I've got about half an hour to speak to you, so the more attention I get, the more I will be able to open up to yourselves. The topic is about balancing deen and dunya, the religion and the world life. Now the first and foremost thing is all you guys studying nice and young, most of you probably not married, and some of you may be married secretly. A lot of the universities, they have an option to, are you married? They say maybe, they look for the option to tick the maybe, or maybe, I've got a person living in my house, but I don't know what relationship I've got with her. Whatever they might be looking at. But you guys are young, you've got a whole future in front of you, and the best thing about young people is, I think Aristotle said this, he said, young people, he said, they are full of aspiration as opposed to old people. And the reason why he said it, because old people, they've got a huge past, but they haven't got a future. So they're always talking about the past. And young people, they've got a huge future in front of them, and they haven't got much of a past, so they're always talking about the future. So may Allah bless your lives, and may Allah give you a good life. And as your life is developing, you've got to understand that you are becoming wiser. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Holy Quran that حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ وَبَلَغَ 40 سَنَةً. Allah Azza wa Jalla said that until this human being reaches the strongest point of his or her life, the strongest point. And that strongest point is in more to do with mentally being strong than physically being strong. You are physically strong first before you are mentally strong. Please remember that. You are physically strong first. Like in your 20s right now, I tell you, some of you guys, especially the guys over on this side, yeah, they could really bust up some people if they wanted to, right? And you girls, you could do a good job as well, mashallah, I saw somebody sent me a WhatsApp photo in Bangladesh, the situation of Bangladesh, and it was a policeman in Bangladesh who was headlocked by a woman, right? And there was other 3 women behind, ready to take him out. And I thought, mashallah, alhamdulillah, let's be able to holy sisters over there. So what I'm saying is that physically you are strong before you are mentally strong. Now please remember this, because as your age gets older, the mental strength is always growing, But the physical strength, there's a sharp point to it, but there's a weakness. So from after 30s, you'll start seeing a weakness to the physical self. But when it comes to the 30s, that's still not the best of your mental abilities. Because Allah has said in the Holy Quran that 40, the age of 40, Arba'in, He's mentioned this twice in the Quran. Once in Surah Ahqaf and once in Surah Naml, where Allah said that Ashuddah, when you reach the peak of your strength, and that Allah has put at 40. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a prophet at 40, because it was the peak of his mental abilities and his mental strength. So why I'm saying this to you is that you guys think, if I ask any of you, right, how much you guys really think you know what's going on in the world, you're gonna, if I gave you 10 out of 10, you probably do 10 out of 10. I was 11 out of 10. I could tell my elders what's going on, that they don't even know, they're stuck up in this and they're stuck up in that, and I could tell them what's going on. You go to your mosque, and mashallah, I know some of these oldies, the other day somebody told me, to the janazah in a masjid, And while the janazah, now this janazah was of a trustee member, the 6 trustee members of the mosque. So one of them had died, it was his janazah, and one of the youth went up to another committee member and he looked at him while the janazah, he looked at him, pointed, and he said, "You're next." And when the rest of the 4 of you have gone, then we will be able to do something in this masjid. Now I do understand some of you lot are thinking that, you know, Allah is giving you a lot of power, a lot of hot blood or whatever. You've got a lot in front of you, but what you've got to remember is that you still haven't reached 40 yet. So your mental abilities are not there yet. Your physical abilities are there, your blood is very high, and in fact you guys, you know, going to university, going to LSE, and thinking that numbers is something that you could mesmerize the world with, and do whatever you want as accountants or whatever you're going to become in life. You think that everything is yours because you've got the latest of everything. You've got the latest research in your head, you've got the latest phones in your pockets, you've got the latest, IT, so things that, you know, 2 generations or 1 generation above you couldn't do. But what you've got to understand is, they've been through life in a way that you haven't. And that changes the picture. What that does is that they understand things of deen and dunya which you don't. And which I probably don't with the people who are 10 years above me or they are 20 years above me. Now this changes the dynamics. The dynamics now is you have to, by default of this religion, you have to take the experience of those who are older than you. So in your minds, you all have got a beautiful, you know, fairy tale that goes on, right? The fairy tale is that for the guys here, you're waiting for your lucky princess to come to you, and for the girls here, your prince that's going to come and kiss you after 100 years is going to wake you up in the castle, and everything's going to be, and they live happily ever after. Right? When you get hold of that girl, or now that girl gets hold of you, then it's going to be the end of all your miseries. All the days that were of sorrow and grief and loneliness and having a bed that is empty and having, you know, a messy room for the guys. You know, these guys, I'll be honest with you girls, they are some of the messiest rooms that you can see. You know, I'm just giving you a hint and a tip here. And the thing is, you know, I walked the other day into one of these, student sort of quarters. And I went into a room and the student there, he apologized for his room. I said, "Listen guys," I said, "don't apologize, man." I said, "This is a sign that you're a bachelor. This is a sign that you're a bachelor," right? So girls, get ready, yeah? Because the other side's coming when you get there. But anyway, the deen and dunya aspect of it, you need to understand that right now is the time to make yourselves the people you want. Most young people think that I want to get a practicing, like the boys will think, I want to get a practicing sister that is going to be more practicing than me and she's going to pull me in the deen. But guess what? The sister's thinking, I want a practicing brother stronger than me who's going to pull me in the deen. Now that's wrong, because both of them are thinking the same thing, and before you realize it, they're going to be pulling one another back, not pulling one another forward. Because that's what happens. Both of them are on a low point of some kind of iman. Now, it's wonderful, sisters, you've got your hijab on your heads, and you have, and brothers are trying to grow your beard. But I'll be honest with you, Islam is not, Islam fine is submission, but taqwa, the consciousness of Allah and fear of God, is something inside your mental abilities, not in your physical awareness. So most people have made their move in Islam outside, but not inside. To move on the inside, you've got to have a golden heart. Now please mark my words down. You've got to have a golden heart. That means your heart can forgive when you have just been upset. Your heart has got space for another room of another individual in your private area. You know, people have these things, right? Some people, honest to God, some people, you get into the private area and it's like you can hear the snarling in their words. You know, like when a lion has just entered the territory of another lion, or a lioness in the territory of another lion, you can hear the growl starting, like, you know, what, get out of here. So some guys, some women, whether you hang around with them, you begin to find out who they are, because the longer you stay in a private space, you begin to realize what's on the inside. It's not about the outside. So what I'm saying is that you and myself, we need to learn what taqwa is. The God consciousness is on the inside. And that's where the real deen is. That's where the real balance is. It's on the inside. How much of the inside have I already balanced? Because if I'm an individual and I'm spending at this moment, today, yesterday, last week, just take last week in your account. You guys are going to be accountants, right? So you can do a bit of accountancy for your idea. You take last week in your projection, and you say, what have I done last week? How much balance have I had? So you start off. You start off with, you're going to do both, right? So you can't just do the deen and not the dunya, or the dunya not the deen. You can't just do the world and not the next life or the next life. You've got to balance the two. So in that, our religion is absolutely wonderful because it actually provides you with that balance. It gives you the balance. If you go to one side, you will find that the Prophet has forbidden people to go too extreme on one side, but he's also forbidden, he forbade the other side as well, so you can't go either too left or too right. You've got to try and balance the deen. And that's where Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا in the Holy Quran, Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayah number 143. Allah says, I have made you a middle nation. I've made you a balanced nation. Allah said in the Holy Quran, Surah Al Imran, ayah number 110, He said, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. You are the best of all nations because you have been chosen for mankind. Why? Because we have got this balanced nature. Every day when we stand in Salah, we say, Ihdina Sirat Mustaqim. We say, oh Allah, give me that straight path, give me the balanced mental abilities, balanced physical abilities, balanced approach to life. That's what Sirat Mustaqim is. So what happens now is that the individuals, is it okay? I finish at 42? Is that okay? Shall I? Can I go back that clock? That's wrong. Is that wrong? And I'm going to assume that your watch is right here. Yeah? So I'll take my one out. Yeah, you're actually right. Okay, good. So I've got about 10 minutes. So what I would say is that you've got to take your projection of the last week and you've got to say, how balanced have I been? So if you look in the traditions, we are a balanced nation, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has put a lot of emphasis in our balance of the dunya and the deen. So what I would say that let's look at last week. How many times have I actually, some people, they have to pray 5 times a day. Some people think that that's not part of their religious life. Now, that's not a balance straight away. You really need to pray 5 daily prayers, and they need to be on time as well. Some people think that, starting with the outer parts, you really need to get some of the outer parts done. So you better have, for example, the devotion on the outside of prayer, but you better be concerned about the devotion on the inner side of the prayer, because some people pray for a whole 50, 60 years, and they've never ever thought about the balance of the inner part of their mind with the outer salam. Or what they've done is they've prayed on the outside, so they've done all the elements, but they've had the whole of the world sinking into their prayers like ocean waves that move across their minds, and all they've done is just floated in their dunya, in the world, all the way till they've said their salam. So there's been no devotion whatsoever to God. So that's not really good balance. Some people, they fast, and they fast, that's fine. But what did the Prophet ﷺ say? He said, if you fast, then the fast should act as a shield against your desires. And that's the tradition in Bukhari. So that means that if you fasted a full month of Ramadan, or if you're doing the Mondays and Thursdays fasting, that means you should be under control. Your desires should be under control. If you haven't got them under control, that means you didn't fast properly. What does that mean? Well, you don't just fast from eating and drinking. The Prophet ﷺ has said that you should fast from, he has said from, the tongue should fast from the things that the tongue should not stain. So that means throughout the day you should be conscious that my tongue should not say those things that Allah has prohibited. The eyes have to fast. So it means that the eyes should not look at things that Allah has forbidden. The ears should fast. So the ears don't listen to things Allah has forbidden. Now that kind of fasting, if you take it seriously, is going to balance you out. The same thing happens when a person will make it their effort to try and approach, the mosque life, the Quran life. Because the Quran is supposed to be that you actually take the Quran. It's not just a melodious tune. It's I'll be honest with you, most young guys are into, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. And they're like, Abu Bakr Shatili, mashallah, you know, like, and all they're doing seriously is they're in this like religious sort of bubble, right? They're neither here nor there. They're not making any. I mean, it's wonderful if you listen. Please don't get me wrong, guys. It's better than listen to something where after you listen to it, you're like looking like this. You know, after going on a Saturday night somewhere and you know your eardrums are finished. You know, the eardrums are saying to you, you know, every time you was beating inside the club, your eardrums are saying, toba, 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 toba. You know, repentance, please get me out of here, right? So it's better to listen up. But what I'm saying is that the Quran's supposed to be, you know, it's a message. So you're supposed to open it up, and as you're going through that, you're supposed to allow the meaning to sink in your mind. If you allow the meaning to sink in your mind, you are actually rectifying yourself. You are actually walking towards that balanced life that you're supposed to have. There's a balance between parents as well. You know, you can question them nicely with adab and respect, but you're not supposed to, you know, challenge them in a way that you're disrespectful. So there's a balance in that. Now you've all got desires and you've got things that you want to fulfill in this world, but you've got to have the balance. One of the biggest problems I'm finding in this day and age is that the young generation, they seriously have a problem with technology. There's just so much of it that they're actually getting soaked, intoxicated, drunk in the amount of technology time they're spending. And if you think you are not, then please tell me, where is the balance when a person, you know, he's in a lecture theatre and he's still, you know, texting, right? Or she's texting, right? They're in a lecture theatre and they're texting. And what's the text about, right? So they've got a few things open. They've got their emails. Now emails have become like a past thing, right? So they've got the Facebook open or the Twitter open. So that's like ding, 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 right? Or like, you know, buzzing, right? So each time someone goes, yeah, I'm okay, yeah, I'm in lecture theatre, yeah, it's going to finish in about 15 minutes, yeah, I'll have that kebab with you, just wait for it, like, hang on, geezer, man, don't go, man, the kebab's going to taste nicer with you there, man, right? So they're texting, I wanted to talk about rubbish, right? So they've got that going on, and then they've got their WhatsApp, right? That's another thing that's got, you know, buzzing and things like that, and then they've got these groups on WhatsApp, and it's not one group they've got on WhatsApp, they've got several groups on WhatsApp. So it's like my college friends, my close-knit friends, my home life, my families, the general relatives, that's another group. Each of these are different groups, and then I've got my girlfriends or my, you know, my private life or whatever. All of these, you know, they're all rotating out. How many, for God's sake, how many messages are you going to receive, and how many are you going to reply to? There's got to be a balance. So they've done all of this, right? So they've come out the lecture theatre, they've had a little kebab, they've gone home, and the next minute is like, you know, sit on this phone, you've got all these games on this phone, so, you know, let's ding, ding, ping pong, whatever it is, you know, you play around with it, and the next minute you want to, what do you do? Well, go onto YouTube and, you know, just select all the videos. Next, oh, some guy sent me a link to this video, and I watched that, and there's a related one, I watched that, 3-4 hours, whatever, I've just gone. Then after, this is just a phone, my friend. They've just put the phone away. If I put it away, then it's the remote control. So then you put the remote control on, what have I missed? You know, what has Sky recorded for me that I just missed, right? The ding ding, oh yeah, oh Man U's playing tonight, man, oh, you know, they've got to revise, Man U's playing, you know, I know they lost yet, but you know, I love it when you know, the losing team, I look at the I don't, you know, someone's going to win at the end of the day, right? But it's not the win. I like it when the losing team, like, you know what I like about them? It's not about them. It's about all the supporters who never met them, who don't know them, who will never see them. And if they ever were to go and shake their hand, that guy would probably say, yeah, what are you doing here? P-A-K-Y. Yeah. You know, they'll probably just swear at them on the face or something, so there's no connection whatsoever. And these guys back home, you know, because they lost, Man U lost, there's no connection. These guys are crying. Right? These guys, it's just a serious stuff. These guys need a beating, some of these guys, right? They're crying. Some of them, right, it's like, man, I better switch my phone off, right? Because the amount of abuse they're getting from all the Arsenal players, from all the Chelsea players, and all the other ones. And I'm thinking, man, where do I hide right now? So now it becomes a mission to hide, right? Now his WhatsApp's gone 10 times crazier, right? And he hasn't got the time to, like, he's killing him inside, right? So he killed him, well, he's all his time to support him, and now his time is being killed in trying to hide away from this guy. Man, it just doesn't end. right? There's husbands and wives, right? They're sitting in the same living room, and I'm telling you, there's so many of them sitting there, both on their phones, like. And she's there, like. And sometimes they're texting each other in the same room. I'm serious. There's one couple I know, it's upstairs and downstairs texting, right? So, you know, yeah, you're okay, yeah, I'm just upstairs in the bedroom. So, unless you're calling her for something, right? Anyway, so what I'm saying is there's got to be the amount of technology that they're intoxicating you is absolutely crazy, right? It's crazy. Now, what I would say to you is that if you want to get the balance in this, what I would say is, I'm going to give you a few steps now. So the organizers, if I can finish 3 minutes, is that okay, yeah? 3 minutes, yeah? GMT, yeah? Yeah? You know what GMT is, you know? Yeah? Not or BST, British Standard Time, yeah? Well, I'm from Bangladesh Standard Time, yeah? And 3 minutes. You've got to go on to the loads of courses, so you please go on to courses wherever you can find courses. You should actually go face to face to actually learn with a teacher. In all of your areas, you've got mosques. If you haven't got in your area, don't wanna just go and join some course and try and do it on a regular basis, week to week. I want you. That's just to learn your deen. The other one I want you to do is I want you to learn, right? Is learn how to become practicing. So for that, you need to find someone who's more pious than you, not your wife and not your to-be husband. I'm looking at some other brothers who are more practicing. You need a good suhbah, you need a good companionship. This is one way, like any brothers, like brothers who are in ISOC, sisters who are in ISOC, generally they're more practicing than those who are not, but they're supposed to be, right? Anyway, so please, find out from them how you can spend more time with them, just generally keeping yourself occupied. Another one, what I want you to do, please, is every day, I just want you to fix for yourself, either 15 minutes or you fix for yourself 20 minutes, please. No one, don't tell me you haven't got 15 minutes in the day. I don't care how busy you are, how many exams are coming, you've got 15 minutes. I want you to divide the 15 minutes into 5, 5, 5. And in the 5, 5, 5, what you do is 5 minutes, right? I want you to follow a tafsir from the beginning to the end, right? From the beginning to the end. A good one, either Tafsir al-Kathir, or you follow by Shabir Usmani, the Noble Quran is in 3 volumes, a wonderful tafsir. And I want you to just read what you can in 5 minutes, that's it. You close that, then the second one, I want you to do hadith, and that's going to be Riyadh al-Salihin. Riyadh al-Salihin by Imam Nawawi, just read 1 or 2 hadith, all right? And just reflect on that. And the third one is, I just want you to just close your eyes. Imam Ghazali said, this is a wonderful thing. He said, when your day starts, he said, do one thing. He said, just take yourself, imagine that you were in the next life and Allah had just summoned you and cautioned you for what you had done in the world, and then you begged him for another day, and he said, okay, I'm going to take you back. Like, for example, tomorrow morning is going to be, I'm going to take you back to the, it's the 10th of March. I'm going to take you all the way to the 10th of March, early in the morning. You're going to wake up and you're going to get from that time on till the end of your life to try and rectify yourself. So close your eyes, think that Allah has just sent you back. What am I going to do today different from what I did yesterday? And that's what's going to go through your head. What am I going to do today? I've got one more day to achieve myself, to do my best I can until I sleep tonight. And then perhaps if I wake up tomorrow morning, then I'll think again. Allah has just cautioned me and said, okay, I'll give you another day, another chance to see what you can do to prove to me. And if you do this, inshallah, with all the other things I've said, it's only a short thing. Inshallah, I pray that Allah Azza wa Jalla will give me and give you the tawfiq to balance with our mental abilities, to balance what we've got in this world and with what we've got in the next world.